welcome to Zombies2Aliens. We just lost our band member here, just dropped out of the connection of Google Hangout, so hopefully he will be back. But that was Mr. Tony, also known as Kirk80s. I'm going to go ahead and try to send him an invite again. But with me, as always, besides Kirk, who is MIA, or Tony, I have Mr. Onesto Stubbs is here, of course, also known as Galaxoid, also known as Trey, for a
Hello.
of nicknames.
The spirit de sanctu filia in nomine patre.
Since we have time to kill, trying to get our show band back together, you want to talk about how you got the name of Onesto Stubbs, or maybe Galaxoid?
Well, that was back in the Flibcast eras, but okay, Onesto Stubbs. I might repeat myself if you heard the story before. It sucks, but David Duchovny came on Conan O'Brien's show like back in the late '90s when X-Files was really big, and he was talking about pseudonames that he likes to check himself into hotels, and one of them was Jeremy Rumper Bumper. And the other one was Onesto Stubbs, and he said it was always nice to get a little wake-up call back when you used to get the telephone wake-up call from the hotel. Mr. Rumper Bumper, this is your 8 a.m. wake-up call. So he actually showed up in a skit prior to actually coming out for the guest and said his name was Onesto Stubbs.
Cool.
The great
That was
David
on
Duchovny.
a episode of Conan?
Absolutely, yep. Old NBC late night, right? Or...
Yeah. Cool. What about Galaxoid? Or what can you tell us about Galaxoid? Well, Nebula and Galaxoid.
Well, you know what that is. That's from that one comic strip for Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
Galaxoid and Navigator Nebular.
Sweet.
Here's a question. I think I asked you this pop quiz before, but pop quiz again. Which one is Galaxoid?
Galaxoid is the one with the star on his chest.
Correct. Yay! Very good. Okay, so after Mr. Onesto Stubbs, we have Tyler, also known as Ty, also known as Ty Denubus.
Howdy. Howdy,
Yes.
howdy.
Also, he is a cowboy.
How did you get the Tide Anubis name is what I want to know. Anubis
It was like, yeah, I made it years ago, and I was trying to think of something that sounded cool, and I thought, well, Anubis sounds cool, and of course I spelled it wrong. So it looks like I just put a bus on the end of it's my first, part of my first name and part of my middle name with a bus on the end of it, so yeah, it looks pretty stupid, but there you go.
The Thai bus.
So it has nothing to do with like Egyptian culture whatsoever?
No, all aboard the Tyler bus.
Woo woo!
Alright, and then also we have Melissa, also known as Valen.
No, turn off.
Excelsior! Yeah, I'm not as creative, most of you. My nickname is online everywhere. It's just a combination of my first name and my middle name. So, yeah, I'm not that creative at all, especially with names. Playing The Sims was horrible for me. I had so many families named like the Stapleton or Mr. Printer or, the name of my monitor, so, yeah, I'm not that creative.
Basically, it was anything that was within a viewing distance. It was like Mr. Red Staplerton.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. So...
I would be in the same boat, but there's a lot of Peters out there, so I can't really use my own name for everything.
That is also the name of your Johnson too. So.
Yeah, no kidding. Little Peter, we call him.
Isn't that like naming yourself like human?
Yeah, exactly.
Your first name is what you want.
Man.
Alright, and then lastly, back from the dead, we have Tony, also known as Kirk80s. Give him a little taste, Tony.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not so fun when you die, so... Okay. That's what happens.
Alright. Sounds good. Okay, so we start each of our podcasts up with a little segment we call Follow Me. This is a segment where we give shout-outs to new followers from our Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, and basically the whole of internets. So this is a segment we like to call Follow Me.
Follow me.
And that contest is still out there if you can name all those follows from pop culture that I stole from. Anyways, also, please don't sue me. I'm not making any money off of this podcast.
You didn't get
okay.
your check? I got it.
Damn it. You got a check? No way. Alright. Okay, so for our new followers on Tumblr, I'm not sure if we said these names before, but I'll say them again just in case. We have a grown-ass fangirl, so I'm glad you're grown up. Fangirl.
Yeah, grown-ass fangirl.
Yeah, there you go. And also we have a Media Pick, which is a blog, I'm guessing, for media pictures. Then we're going to shoot over to our Twitter, where we have Will. He's a new follower. His Twitter username is boylay97. Then we have a group of fellas called Gang... Oh, it's just one person, sorry. Gang Killing Machine, or GKM, who has a YouTube, pretty much does gameplay videos. His Twitter name is XXMonsterReadXX. And also we're being followed by Unleash the Fanboy at Fanboy Unleashed, pretty much Twitter and website about fandom and geekiness, so we like them. Alright, so follow us on everything, and then we'll give you a shout out if you're new. And also, you might actually win some stuff, like Penn Shingleton, who won our Comic-Con swag last time, so it helps to follow us. Alright, so that's our follow us segment. Now we'll go to our segment we call What We Are Watching. Give us a little music, Tony. What are we watching? Alright, sounds good. Okay, Mr. Band Leader, let's start with you. What have you been watching?
Besides Silicon Valley, I don't know. Under the Dome? I'm still watching Under the Dome.
Have you seen Guardians yet?
No, that's today.
Oh, that's today. Well, you're in for some stuff, man.
Yeah.
Okay, stop yelling.
Any other movies have you seen?
I saw, what is it, Neighbors last night? Or 2 days ago?
Yeah.
That was alright. Go ahead.
Was it kind of like 21 Jump Street, or?
Kinda. I mean, it had the same sort of humor. What's kind of strange is, I mean, I did enjoy the flick, but I'm not so sure if the Rotten Tomatoes score is in line with what I thought it deserved in Rotten Tomatoes. Because they got, like, a pretty high score. Got, like, a 72 or something, which is fine. I just thought maybe, it deserved something not as great.
Not as great.
Yeah, I would have said maybe like a 50. I mean, it was a good film.
Oh, wow.
But, I mean, it was definitely good, but I mean, like, I was expecting so much more because of that high fresh rating.
What was so disappointing about it? Was it predictable?
It was kind of, well, I mean, yeah, it was kind of cheesy. I don't know, maybe it just wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be. Which it was, I mean, it definitely had its parts for sure. I'm not trying to, talk trash on it, but it just...
No, please, talk trash.
I guess I was expecting, like you said, like a 22 Jump Street or 21 Jump Street even, which those movies were, like, really, really funny. They were original. This one's, kind of plays on the same 1980s, like, oh, frat moves next door, oh, what's going to happen? They're going to make a lot of movies.
Oh, well, that's disappointing, I guess.
It's still funny, though. It's still worth, $1 Redbox.
Alright, sounds good. Alright, so after Mr. Tony's glowing review of Neighbors, we'll go with Onesta Stubbs. What have you been watching, sir?
I actually took the time out to rewatch The Dark Knight Rises.
What?
On now, we obviously have two autistic kids. You can hear one in the background yelling at Val. But last time when we saw it at the drive-in, and I kind of lost a bit.
You lost the voice, the Bane voice?
There's bits of the movies that I never really saw, like him actually getting his ass kicked by Bane.
Oh, what?
Kind of the whole
Why, you didn't watch that?
portrayal. I was out dealing with the kid at the time, so unfortunately we missed it. And the other night I hooked up the projector, put on some good noise-canceling headphones, and I was just sitting in the dark watching The Dark Knight Rises. And there's actually a good copy that you can stream at 720p, and it looked real good. So finally got to see it from beginning to end without any interruptions.
I first saw that in the theaters, but I also rewatched it in the drive-in. And my favorite thing about the drive-in is super serious. Is
Hey,
you
stop
get
it.
a really big picture of Anne Hathaway's ass on the bat bike, and it's just great.
I missed that part as well, and I was happy to pause it and rewind.
Enhanced the experience at the drive-in, I think.
But
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you know what the best thing is though? Like connecting the headphones really makes. I mean, it's weird at first, but if you have some good headphones with a nice bass, that is the way to watch it. You're not bothering anybody. You got the big screen, and I was just happy as can be, just watching on the projector and
Well, you know what? At the drive-in I saw, you can also see you can watch the other screen from like the back window. And I think Star Trek was out the same. Into Darkness was out the same time. So I had an iPod and I had headphones, and I tuned that to the other show. So I was watching two movies at once.
nice.
I was multitasking.
That's strange.
Drive-ins are a dying breed. They're pretty awesome. They're rare. You gotta go to a drive-in at least once in your life. Alright, any other shows or anything else on Nesta? Jay?
Oh, any other shows? No, not really. Just been a pretty busy week, and we did the podcast last week. Still kind of want to see the next. I still want to see Into the Storm. Didn't get a chance to see Into the Storm, but
Yeah, I kind of want to give that a shot too.
I actually found a good. Well, I want to see Edge of Tomorrow too. I heard that was probably the best science fiction movie for the summer.
It was very good.
Wow. Really? Going up against Guardians?
And I actually did find a stream of it online, and I don't think it would have did it justice. It wasn't
No,
like the Dark
don't.
Knight stream, so.
I think you should wait for that one to come out, and I would spend money on that one, because that is a good movie, really good movie actually. I was pleasantly surprised, because I went in expecting pretty much nothing, and then, oh god, I was blown away, man. It was really, really smart.
I have no problem supporting a struggling Tom Cruise.
And you gotta definitely feed him, man.
Yeah.
Oh, the church needs as much money as it can get, right?
Oh,
He
yeah,
needs
exactly.
a new ivory back scratcher.
Back scratcher.
Alright, so after Mr. Onesto Stubbs, we have Mr. Tyler. Now, Mr. Tyler, what have you been watching, or something new that you have been watching since we did our last podcast?
Jack shit, really.
Okay, put him down.
What's the premise of Jack shit?
Well, you see, there's this porcelain white bowl, and I'm rewatching 30 Rock, and that's funny. I really enjoy 30 Rock. If you haven't seen it, it's a very good show.
What's one of the funniest seasons of 30 Rock?
That's tough. I think probably like the first 3 seasons are the best.
Oh yeah?
Because where everything's nice and fresh, and and then there's like kind of a low point, and then things pick up back up towards the end. But I'm pissed that Netflix lost King of the Hill.
Yeah.
I was working my way through that when they lost that. So other than that, that's nothing else really.
So, have you been following how Tracy Morgan's been doing after the bus crash at all, Tyler?
Yeah, a little bit. He's suing Walmart, and somebody died in that crash, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His mentor or something like that. I don't
Oh
know
wow.
at the top of the head.
This comedian guy. That's crazy.
Now, what were his injuries? Didn't he get close to like having an amputation or?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
No. That sucks because
Yeah,
I
there
really,
we go.
I really like
Yeah.
Tracy Morgan. He's a good comic
Mm-hmm.
actor.
Doesn't seem like the type that he would lose his humor though, or something like that, you know? I think.
Yeah.
Although he is suing.
Yeah, so the crash killed James McNair, who was Tracy's friend and collaborator, according to Wikipedia. And Tracy Morgan got a broken leg and femur, broken nose, and several broken ribs.
Oh man,
That's rough.
Yeah.
that's rough. Get better, Tracy Morgan. We love you. Alright, to pick spirits back up, let's go over to Val and ask her what she has been watching.
Bravest Warriors!
Cool.
If you haven't seen it, I love cartoons, so I'll get my fix any way I can. It's a series on YouTube because they have a lot of bad language, and pretty much every other thing is a sexual innuendo type joke or something, you know. It's just crazy, but it's from the same guy who does Adventure Time, Pendleton Ward, except it's for kids who are the sons and daughters of superheroes, and they're trying to figure out, what happened to their parents and stuff like that. But it is the cutest show. It's very strange, but at the same time, it's still very sci-fi and kind of cool and innocent and stuff. I don't know.
Cool.
I love it though. Catbug is this bug
it's free on
cat
YouTube,
thing, and it's so cute. But yeah, I've been rewatching those episodes, trying to catch up. That and Bee and Puppy Cat, of course. I can't wait till the series comes out. It's another magical girl cartoon, basically, but you know me. So, but they're on YouTube. It's free to watch. They come out with new episodes. I forget, but they're on the second season, so there's enough to watch there, and yeah, I should check it out. And other than that, just still old-timey TV, Rocker Files, that kind of thing. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Nice. And me, I have been watching, I actually just watched not too long ago, Wes Anderson's Grand Budapest Hotel. And that was really funny. Everyone's in it. Like, you have, Jude Law's in it, first of all. Then you have Bill Murray, of course, and pretty much all of Wes Anderson's, original people are still there. They're all in all of his movies, and they're hilarious.
And I still want to watch it. I try not to miss a Wes Anderson film.
And Adrian Brody actually plays the bad guy, and that's kind of cool, because he's usually the good guy.
He's usually the lover of King Kong.
Yeah. And yeah, it's funny to see him take on a villain role.
He has the nose for it.
It was pretty funny. Definitely, I suggest redboxing it or renting it or viewing it some way, because it's fantastic.
Speaking of which, he did really good on that one Predators movie. It wasn't wasn't good at all. But Adrian Brody, yeah. I was like, wait a minute, Adrian Brody's buff? I was all confused.
Yeah, he saved that movie. I like that movie. I love King Kong. I think King Kong gets some gripes from people, but I love King Kong.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, people say it's too long, and it's like, well, it's just a nice, big, gratuitous monster movie.
Yeah, I remember me and Tyler went to go see it, and it was like daytime, and we came out, it was like nighttime, and like the mall was closing. Like, why is everyone locking up?
Crackheads were walking around like, give me your money.
Yeah.
What are you still doing out here? You know it's dangerous. Oh yeah, King Kong, huh? Yeah, me too. Never mind.
Alright, so that's the segment called What We Have Been Watching. Now we go on to the segment of what we've been playing. Take it away, Tony. Mario stuff, playing, yeah. Alright. Alright, Mr. Band Leader Tony, sir, what have you been playing on the video games?
I'm looking over right now. And I see. What do I see? I don't see anything. I've been playing anything this last week, actually.
Oh, that's good. You're a working body.
Yeah, I guess
last
so.
time you were talking about Grand Theft Auto 4. How's that? Did you get started on the Ballad of Gay Tony yet?
No, I was doing the Lost in the Band.
That one's really cool. I think the Ballad of Gay Tony, a lot of the stuff they got from Grand Theft Auto 5, they got from the Ballad of Gay Tony.
Really? What the heck?
Yeah, because there's a lot of base jumping, and there's just a lot more to do in the Ballad of Gay Tony.
That's awesome.
I would agree, but Lost in the Damned, how do you like the characters then? To me, there was like no redeemable character in the Lost in the Damned. I stopped playing it.
Well, the main character, right? I like the main character.
But I think so far it's our. I mean, I don't know. They're not relatable, but I mean, what video game character is?
Right. I like the main character in Lost in the Damned, and then GTA 5 you go Trevor kills him, so that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So it's the same guy. I didn't know that. Shit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you run into a lot of guys from 4 and 5. So I was walking along and I came across Patty.
That's
I
crazy.
forget his name, but I like beat him up. I'm like, oh wait, that was the other dude from the other game. You know?
Yeah,
So, I'm sorry,
Damn.
That's funny.
That's true. Okay,
Alright,
moving on.
moving on. Alright, so Mr. Ernesto Stubbs, what have you been playing? Would you like to screen share some of your space exploration?
If the screen share will work, I actually been playing Tomorrow War, which I mentioned last, and I'll probably put up some gameplay vids on it. But real quick, engage screen share.
Screen share, engage.
So basically, it is.
Make it so.
It is just a space game I told you about. It was a Russian space game that did the that does the surface the space to atmosphere and surface transition.
Oh.
Recently, it was the first one to do that. See, right now I'm flying around the orbit of Saturn, and this is Titan.
So this is not Star Citizen, you say, Trey?
No, this is an old game, but it's actually okay. I mean, it's $5 on Steam. Now, if I use spacebar, you can
Much cheaper
actually
than
control
Star
it with the mouse. Now, if I let's see here.
Oh god, I'm having epilepsy, I think.
Oh, is it cutting out?
It's
my screen
blinky.
share.
It's blinky.
Okay. Now, hopefully it works a little bit. Right now, I'm setting him on course to go to the planet service. Let's see if it'll work.
Cool.
But really bad voice acting, really bad cutscenes, but the underlying gameplay is okay. I mean, it works on Windows 7 32-bit. I haven't had it break at all yet.
Nice.
And and playing this and Kerbal has been okay. I really like Kerbal Space Program. Don't get me wrong, that's a better game altogether. But having a $5 gem that makes you go into space, and here it is. You'll start seeing them burn into that.
Oh god,
here.
here we come.
There's the fire.
Just be country cereal. Reference Burger Street.
So it doesn't the textures are muddy when you get down. It's procedurally generated, yes, before they knew what procedurally generated meant, and Spirit out there.
Can you use an inanimate carbon rod in it too?
God bless that inanimate carbon rod.
What does he have? He has an inanimate carbon rod! Yeah.
But it's alright. I've been playing this and Kerbal, and if you haven't played Kerbal, that is the most satisfying, one of the most satisfying games to play really ever, because once you first get it into orbit, it is so much It's like it just seems random at first, but then you actually meet up with something in orbit, dock maybe, and it actually takes a lot. It's a lot to dock with something in orbit, so it's
That's what she said.
Exactly. Okay, so here's the terrain, and you can go further until you land on the surface. And
Cool. It's not that bad graphics, I have to say.
Not that bad graphic-wise, I think, but
What year are we talking about?
I forgot the year off the top of my head, but
2000s.
If you go to the Steam page, I'm sure you can see it.
All right.
Here, I'll give it back to you. That's all I got.
Right. Okay, sounds good. Well, it looks like we were gonna make it. Unless something happened.
No, you guys were off in the ride, and it was gonna crash. Yeah.
Oh God!
We're release on the wind, you know.
Alright.
Watch
I
how
made
we
myself
score.
sad now.
Sir, what have you been playing?
Well, this morning, the reason I was late was because I was playing Red Dead Redemption.
Okay, that's a reasonable excuse
And
to say, yes.
that was probably why I said howdy, I guess. But yeah, I'm just playing through the main campaign on hardcore, and boy, that makes things a little tougher.
Yeah, I bet.
I noticed that I try and avoid people on the side of the road who need assistance, because the odds are I will get a bullet through the heart the second I slow down and look in their direction.
If anything that game has taught me is to not trust anybody in the West.
Just shoot them in the face as soon as they approach you.
Yeah, no kidding. Here's a question. Do you have the Undead,
Oh my gosh, yes, yeah. I have the Game of the Year edition, so I have the Undead Nightmare, which that's probably the best DLC. I don't even want to call it DLC. It's an expansion pack.
Right.
And it's probably one of the best expansion packs I've ever played. It just, it takes the entire game map and repurposes it for something completely different from what the original game was, and it really is. If you've never played Red Dead Redemption, you need to play it because it's probably one of the best games ever made. And if you haven't played Undead Nightmare, you need to play that too.
Here's a real quick question. Do you think there'll ever be a Red Dead 2?
Yeah, there's been some stirrings over at Rockstar, and it sounds like they want to make it into a franchise. And I think it was so well critically, received so well. There we go. Me forget how to talk. It was so well received that I can't imagine that they wouldn't do a sequel. And maybe a different setting, but kind of the same feel. Just an open world in a historical setting.
That'd be nice.
What I
Or
want.
a futuristic Cowboys or something.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
Space Cowboys.
As long as it's not like LA Noire.
Yeah, no kidding. Alright, sounds good. Alright, now, Velissa, what have you been playing, madame?
Well, yesterday, Onesto and I have started playing Arma 3.
Yay!
Really neat, actually.
You always
Usually
survive
it
any
takes me a
Arma.
little bit while to get into it because it seems like it takes a lot of setting up and
It
stuff
does.
like that.
Yeah.
But with Arma 3, we just kind of jumped right in, and I blew up all the bad guys, and Trey just watched, eating sandwich, smoking a cigarette, while I did all the work. But it was actually pretty fun, It's very tactical and everything, so I still have a lot to learn, but it looks like it's going to be a fun thing to learn.
I think you're on the right path, because whenever we play with, like me and Tyler play with you guys, we usually end up dying. And you are the only one who is, left alive. There's, epic adventures we go on where Val, gets to a car and drives away safely. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, we should post that video.
I do not know how you do
I was so scared. I think
very
the trick is you guys are all balls to the wall, so you just kind of forge in and go for it. And I treat it like it's real life. Like if I die in the game, I die in real life. So
The survival instincts kick in.
They do. Gotta live for my kids. The other thing I've been playing, I don't know if I should actually mention this or not, but I'm going to just go for it because I'm not the only one. But World of Warcraft. I
Really?
actually made an
Wow.
account. Yes,
Really?
I actually made an account, started up playing and stuff like that. It's really weird how everything costs money. Real money.
Yeah.
My first major experience with MMOs was the Lord of the Rings Online. And that one was way easier than this one, I
Yes,
think.
it was.
But I think this one, since it's established and everything, there's a lot more to do. So, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to try it out for a month, see how it is, and then probably go back to the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Let me know.
Yeah.
I would like to join World of Warcraft. I always been hesitant because
Yeah, me too.
I don't want to get
figured now.
addicted to it. I don't want to pay money. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
that's exactly how it
you can
goes.
play for free now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Till a certain level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like to level 20, and then you can only do certain things. Like you can't train your own pets. You can't access mailbox. You can't use the auction house.
Yeah.
There's
You
a
have to
list of
pay to
stuff you
sit
can't
down.
do. Can't get a mount, all that kind of things.
Pay
Stuff
to walk
that, I guess
around.
I took for granted on Lord of the Rings Online, because I'm like, wait a minute, I could do
Yeah.
this before, So, yeah, so.
And it's
Yeah,
real
it's-
funny how we like skirted
It's very
around
pretty.
MMO.
It is a very beautiful game, And, when I got there, it was pretty. I started like on a Thursday. It was pretty empty,
Oh wow.
But man, I logged in yesterday and everybody was there.
The weekend.
It was weird. Everyone's, dancing and have their clothes off and talking
Nice.
about, role play and stuff like that and weird stuff. And I'm like, I'm gonna just go over here and kill this bear. See.
So what character did you create?
I made a human hunter and
Right.
I have a orc rogue. And then I was like, I kind of want something more girly, so I made a Draenei hunter. And I like that one a lot better, but I like my hunter girl because she's just badass.
Nice.
But, yeah, so it's been pretty interesting. Yeah.
All right.
I'll
Well,
let
that's a
you
good
guys know.
that's a good segue into what I've been playing recently. I've been playing Hearthstone, which is a World of Warcraft card game, and it is fun. They just updated with a single-player aspect where it's just a quest where you're defeating bosses and battling it out, and it's like Pokemon, but cooler than Pokemon.
Oh, how dare you! Nothing cooler than Pokemon.
It is. I think it is, and it's it's less. It's not as difficult as Magic, I don't think. It's very easy to get into and very easy to play for the casual gamer.
And it's really pretty for a card game too.
Yeah, I liked it. I like it a lot. And
I have to admit, I was impressed when I played with him a little bit. Peter and I played for a couple rounds. It was actually pretty. I liked it a lot, actually.
yeah, we were playing Strip Hearthstone.
Oh God.
That's pretty challenging when you get to it.
Yeah, especially when it's on webcam and it's just
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Someone hits record and puts it on Google on air hangout.
Yes. All right. So that's what we have been playing. Now, since we have no other segments to go to, I'll just leave it to open discussion where we can talk about pretty much anything we want. Does anyone have a burning desire to, wish Robin Williams to rest in peace, or anything they would like to say about him as an actor or a person?
I think obviously the whole situation is really tragic, but I don't know, I feel like a hypocrite kind of, because every time, a celebrity passes, I feel like, that's a shame, that sucks, and it's sad, but I'm not going to get too riled up over it, simply because I know that there's millions of people that pass every single day through more tragic circumstances. So that's generally how I feel about celebrity deaths. But this one actually, like I said, I feel kind of hypocritical because it affected me, I think, the most. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because the majority of his films, at least the earlier ones, were in my childhood.
Yes.
Right. So
And he had a lot of films too.
He
so
did.
now I just feel like really strange because part of me is like using the logic. Well, I mean, come on, man. Like, you know, this happens all the time, and it's just one individual out of billions of people. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I mean, it's justified to feel emotions. I think not
Right.
because I'm a sociopath, but because he actually means something to the world. Not that
Right.
those other people who died don't mean anything, but he, I guess, has more importance in what he has made people feel through his movies.
Yeah, it's a
That's my little.
testament to his character because this was the one tragedy that seemed to affect everybody. Like everyone was posting about it, everyone was saying what they thought, and it's just a testament to his character that he touched so many people.
Well,
Right.
he's had a long career, you know, and doing a lot of
Even
stuff,
longer,
a
'cause,
lot of different
movies are still coming out.
genres. There's something for everyone in his body of work, you know. So I think that he managed to touch so many people because of that.
Yes. And I think you're right, because yeah, he was a voice from our childhood, and even a voice for our children as well, because he's in the new like movies. I know he's in what's that penguin movie called? Oh God, I can't think of
Happy
it.
Feet?
Happy Feet. Yeah, he's in Happy Feet. A lot of kids nowadays like that are growing up with that and recognizing Robin Williams' voice. But he'll always be the genie to me.
How about this for a little bit of tribute? Let's go around the table and say what everyone's favorite Robin Williams film would be.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So we're talking voice work or acting?
Anything.
All right. Can I
I'll
go
start.
first?
Yeah,
Damn,
sure, go ahead.
You're gonna say the same thing. I know you're gonna. I like my favorite one is, of course, being a guy named Peter. I like Hook. Hook was my favorite Robin Williams movie.
Yep,
Awesome.
the classic.
Was that what you were gonna say?
No, actually, it wasn't.
Okay, great.
If you want to expand on it, that's fine. I mean, I enjoyed Hook a lot. The old man didn't like Hook. I think he hated it actually because
Well-
every time it was on, he was like, "I don't. It's confusing." AKA, I don't want to watch this dumb movie.
It messes with the like Peter Pan timeline a little bit. It does its own thing on it, so maybe that's what he was hating about it. I'm not sure exactly.
Maybe it was the kids or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's good.
Hook is one of the classic things that if you were a kid at the time, you loved the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Is it weird that I haven't seen it?
Yes, it's very weird.
Yeah.
Go
That
on
is pretty strange, Tony.
right now.
That's right. Disconnect him right now. Just kidding.
Oh man. Okay, here's a plan for Tony. We should stream his first watching of Hook, and then for Trey, when we get the chance, we should stream your first viewing of Inception, because that'd be awesome.
Cool. It'll just be me with my mouth open.
All right. Who wants to go next? Favorite Robin Williams movie?
I'll go next if that's okay. Actually, I was always fond of that film he did with De Niro, Awakenings. Do you guys remember that one?
I didn't even get to see that one. No.
It was about these patients. I forget exactly why they're in a catatonic state, but I think it was like some kind of breakout of some weird polio strand or something. I don't know, something like that during the 50s that just took these normal kids and just knocked them down and like left them in a catatonic state. And it's based on a true story actually. And Robin Williams plays the doctor that actually tries a different medication that brings one of his patients, one of his star patients, Robert De Niro, out of that coma, and he's up and walking around, and eventually he deteriorates back to the point where he's in that state again, and it's just a really good movie. And you get to, I mean, I don't know where in the spectrum of drama that was as far as first roles of drama for Robin Williams, but it might have been, one of the first ones. I don't know. I believe Dead Poet Society was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
Awakenings always stood out to me as a kid, as a really good story. And by the way, and also Vin Diesel's first film role, if you want to watch it.
Oh,
Which
really?
one? Awakening? Really?
Yeah, he plays the orderly, and he has hair. It's weird.
Does he get shot by a Nazi sniper in it too?
No, he doesn't actually.
Oh, okay. All right. Who's next? Favorite Robin Williams movie?
Jumanji.
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 Yes, Jumanji.
Of course.
Oh, have you seen that meme online that they're saying Robin Williams isn't dead? He's just in the jungle waiting for someone to roll 5.
I hope you would enjoy that.
Yeah.
I think you would. You know,
Did you see Tony at Comic-Con? I took a picture of it. I'm not sure if I posted it up on our Facebook, but at Comic-Con, behind a display case was the actual movie prop of the Jumanji board game that they used.
No, I didn't see. That's incredible.
It was so awesome. It was kind of hidden away, and it was like down at the very bottom of the floor. I forget which who had it. It was either like Legendary or like Sideshow Collectibles, but yeah, it was like by the floor and stuff.
That's awesome. Dang it. That would have been something cool to see.
It was hidden like in the Indiana Jones warehouse?
Yeah. I think I found it right next to the Holy Grail and stuff. Yeah.
Ark and the Covenants.
and the Goblet of Fire for some reason, you know.
As a side note, did anybody watch The World's Greatest Dad?
No.
I think
but
that
that's
movie.
on Netflix. There's actually a lot of his movies are on Netflix, and I like to say this to Netflix now. Please create like a playlist or just like a queue for us of just Robin Williams movies that we can watch. Netflix. Here, Netflix.
Amazon Instant Video has something like that, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it says Remembering Robin Williams. The thing is, I think only a couple of them are free. But I mean, it still pulls them up, though, so that's cool.
Nice.
But yeah, that movie, though, is actually... Okay, so it's a very strange movie. Very strange. But it actually is really good. And I'd definitely Netflix it. It's worth the watch. It gives you a different... definitely a different character than Robin Williams usually plays.
Yes.
It's... Oh, man. Feels in that movie, though.
Yes.
And what year was it?
That's pretty recent, I think.
Oh yeah, never mind.
No, it's like maybe 2009, 2010.
Oh wow, okay, never mind.
It's pretty recent, 2009.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's
2009. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely makes you cringe, but it's awesome.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Mr. Tyler or Miss Val, what's your favorite Robin Williams movie?
I really can't pick one. There's so many that I loved, you know.
Aladdin.
I loved Aladdin, of course. Jack too.
Jack.
That one I watched a lot growing up. I don't know my favorite one. I really don't know. I guess The Birdcage.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Classic.
I really like The
Lane were
Birdcage.
hilarious in that movie, you know. I don't know. Like, I remember the first time I saw 1 Hour Photo, I was freaked the fuck out because I was like, what happened to the silly guy, you know?
Yeah, that was
And
scary.
that was a trippy movie. But, yeah, I really can't think of a favorite besides Hook, which has already been mentioned. And, yeah, The Birdcage, I guess.
And The Birdcage is on Netflix.
Yeah.
For how long, we don't
awesome.
know. But
I don't know.
if you haven't seen it, you should watch it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mr. Tyler, sir, what's your favorite Robin Williams movie?
Well, I used to be a big freak for Jumanji. I could take it or leave it now. Mrs. Doubtfire is probably maybe my second.
Nice.
And I really like Good Morning Vietnam.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
yes.
really? Nice.
Good choice.
I actually have not seen Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, you should see it. It's kind of a, he's got his moments where he's pretty darn funny when he's hosting the radio show, but there's some pretty serious business in it too. So, yeah,
Right.
a little more dramatic.
I don't understand why you wouldn't have watched it, Trey. Your
Here's
dad.
a question.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any information about what's happening with Mrs. Doubtfire, the sequel. Does anyone know
Oh
about
no,
that?
what?
Oh, yeah.
They were working on it, and he was involved. I think maybe the script got done, and he okayed everything. I don't know if any photography happened to it, so I don't know if that project is just not going to happen. I think it should happen as a homage to Robin Williams would be nice.
How would that
Yeah.
How would that work?
That'd be some
I
pretty
don't
big fat
Shoes
suit
to
and
fill.
makeup to fill, but
Yeah.
Well, if they had to, they would just do it like how they did Philip Seymour Hoffman in the latest Hunger
that's
Games
right,
movie.
yeah.
I think they just
But-
did some CG composite or something like that.
Oh wow.
But didn't he actually fulfill his parts?
I thought there were some scenes that he didn't.
Huh.
Or they'll do it like what's his name? The Fast and Furious guy whose brother's playing him.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. It's always a tough thing when an
tasteful.
actor dies during filming. Like
Yeah.
when Heath Ledger passed away, he was working on another film. They ended up just getting 3 other actors to play his
yeah,
role.
that's,
I forget the
I
name
forget
of
the name
film.
too, but
The
Johnny Depp, Jude Law, and I forget
Yeah.
who
Dr.
else.
Parnassus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
That's
and
it, right.
and it had quite a few acting chops, and all the guys who played Heath Ledger donated their salary to
the daughter, I think,
Heath
right?
Ledger's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
so there's several things they could do. I just hope they do it well.
The only proper way to do an homage for Mrs. Doubtfire 2 is to get David Cross, Tobias Funke himself, as Mrs. Featherbottom.
Yes.
Nice.
I think that'd be in good fun.
Mrs. Doubtfire 2, banger in the mouth.
Yes.
Dear Lord.
All right.
I don't know. I don't think
All
Mrs. Doubtfire needs a sequel. I mean, it was kind of
Yeah, it
pretty
sounds.
much wrapped
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I didn't know why that would be a sequel, or how a sequel would work, because he got
Well,
his kids back, so why would he need to dress up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
Well, he has the television show.
that's
where he
right.
dresses up as Mrs. Doubtfire. So.
That would be like Medea, Mrs. Doubtfire goes to jail or something.
Hey, you know what's strange? Isn't I was thinking about it because I recently rewatched the film. Isn't it kind of like Big Mama's House plays off of Ms. Doubtfire quite a bit?
Yeah,
Like the
definitely.
premise is exactly the same almost. Only the
Yeah.
daughters
He did it
go-
first. Mrs. Doubtfire was first.
Right.
Opened the
Yeah.
floodgates of cross-dressing.
Yeah, I guess so. And nobody said Death to Smoochie, so.
Alright. So, yeah, Robin Williams, will miss you tremendously, good sir. You will be missed.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything in the news they would like to talk about?
I'll tell you what, Peter, the news has been really depressing recently, so...
Oh yeah.
Let's just talk about
sorry,
pop culture.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Pop culture news. Forget about the other stuff.
No, I understood, I just...
Pop
You
culture news.
son of a bitch.
Fantasy Flight Games is doing a game called Imperial Assault. They've been going nuts since they got the Star Wars license.
Yeah, I bet.
There's a truckload of Star Wars games coming out from them. But so Imperial Assault is basically Descent, but Star Wars. And Descent is kind of like Hero Quest. I know Peter and Trey will know what that means. But yeah, it's just like you have a dungeon master and then players controlling the heroes. Except for it's like an assault on an Imperial base. And yeah, it looks kind of cool.
Real quick,
There's-
speaking of a Hero Quest, I found a Hero Quest program that you can play online. Someone made a little Java-based game, transformed the board game into a Java game that you can play, and it's just you against the computer dungeon master, and it has all the quests.
Uh-oh.
It has all the quests.
Fantastic. I'll put a link up on our blog so people can download it and play it because it's fantastic. In other news, we of course got the new glimpse of the Stormtrooper helmet from Star Wars. The next Star Wars coming up.
Yes,
y'all,
it's awesome.
Do you guys like the look, or is it too futuristic for some of you, or what do you think?
I think it's badass. I think it's cool. I really think it's tactful because
So,
it
wait, I'm kind of confused because is this a Stormtrooper helmet, or is this like a Republic soldier helmet?
Well, everybody's
So-
gonna call them stormtroopers, but I'm hoping that they
That's
will
true.
actually be Republic troopers.
Yeah.
Justin told them.
The Empire's gone, so it should be a Republic trooper
Well,
helmet.
and now the Empire is probably still around.
I think little fledglings of them, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty big organization, so just blowing up the Death Star and killing Palps isn't necessarily going to end everything. So yeah, there probably will be, Imperial warlords or something.
Remnants of them.
Yeah, I don't know how much they'll figure in the story.
I can't believe we're having this conversation.
I know. I can't believe there's another Star Wars coming out.
That's so
and
weird.
I can't also believe it's the same world where there's no Robin Williams, so it's getting kind of crazy.
Damn it.
Sorry to bring it down.
I think he's doing really good with he being, of course, oh my God, I just had a
Our
brain.
Lord and Savior J.J. Abrams?
Yes, our Lord and Savior J.C. Abrams.
JJ.
But I think he's doing real good with kind of like using the old Macquarie kind of concept artwork to kind of, steer the look of the future Star Wars universe. The X-Wing looked awesome, and the helmet looks pretty cool. So, yeah, I think he's doing a good job.
Yeah, I think the helmet...
I think it's in good hands.
Justin called it the Tron Trooper helmet. That's made me think of that. I think they just need to flick a little dirt on it, and it'll be good to go.
Yeah. Grime it up a little bit, at least.
Just throw it around a little bit. Pee on it.
Alright. Does anyone have any other burning desires to talk about anything?
Well, there's new Dragon Age Inquisition gameplay.
Ooh.
It looks pretty, but damn it, BioWare, you've fooled me once. So I'm waiting until reviews come out and people have had a chance to see it, warts and all.
Fooled me once, shame on you. Fooled me twice,
yeah.
shame on me. Fooled me 3 times.
You can't fool me twice.
Yeah,
you gotta do the D-dub version there. You messed it up.
No, I think that's right on the money. Yeah, I got it.
So obviously, Gamescom is going on right now.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I saw a picture of it on Reddit. It was, and there's no one there.
Aww.
Really?
Yeah, literally. Like it says, Video Game Con in DC is a graveyard. Come out and play some old systems with all of us. And it's just his picture, and there's nobody there. It's
What?
Well, it's in Cologne, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's in Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
So maybe they're, by the books.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think mostly it's for press. It's like E3. It's primarily for press. Comic-Con it ain't.
No.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, our resident former SAC member, you went to E3 in LA, didn't you? Wasn't that
No, I didn't get to go. Justin and Dara went.
So that was like a mad rush, like E3, or I'm sorry, Comic-Con.
No, it's a lot less crowded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 'cause that's just press and stuff, right?
I think lay people can still get in, but mostly it is for press. I think you have to have some connections probably to get in or know somebody if you're not actually a member of the press. But
I just remember like a couple of videos from when the Wii first came out of people running to test it early in the morning. I didn't know how crowded it was.
Nice. Alright, I have one last thing before we sign out. In case you didn't know, for those people on the internet, we have a birthday among us of one of our key founders of Zombies2Aliens. Miss Valissa has her birthday tomorrow, and I got a special guest star. I had to track him down. He was hard guy to track down, but he's gonna wish Valissa a happy birthday for tomorrow. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Droopy the dog.
So I heard it was your birthday today. I'm going to sing now. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday from Droopy. Happy birthday to you. If only people would sing on my birthday. But at least you get a song, and that makes me happy. Have a happy birthday.
Oh.
That's awesome.
What a wise.
Thanks, Droopy. You can go back to your owner now. Thanks.
nobody does sexy birthday like Droopy the dog.
It was very low to the ground, so it was hard to get the mic to his face. But, yes, happy birthday, Melissa. Thank you for being a part of Zombies2Aliens.
Aw, thanks.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Early.
It's an honor being amongst you intellectual beings. And I'm not saying that sarcastically.
Yes. Very nice. Alright, so without further ado, that's going to be our podcast for today. Here at Zombies2Aliens, we like you for your brains. Take it home, Tony.
Alright, welcome to Zombies2Aliens. We just lost our band member here, just dropped out of the connection of Google Hangout, so hopefully he will be back. But that was Mr. Tony, also known as Kirk80s. I'm going to go ahead and try to send him an invite again. But with me, as always, besides Kirk, who is MIA, or Tony, I have Mr. Onesto Stubbs is here, of course, also known as Galaxoid, also known as Trey, for a
Hello.
of nicknames.
The spirit de sanctu filia in nomine patre.
Since we have time to kill trying to get our show band back together, you want to talk about how you got the name of Onesto Stubbs, or maybe Galaxoid?
Well, that was back in the flipped cast eras, but okay, Onesto Stubbs. I might repeat myself if you heard the story before. It sucks, but David Duchovny came on.
So for our new followers on Tumblr, I'm not sure if we said these names before, but I'll say them again just in case. We have a grown-ass fangirl, so I'm glad you're grown up. Fangirl.
Yeah, grown-ass fangirl.
Yeah, there you go. And also we have Media Pick, which is a blog, I'm guessing, for media pictures. Then we're going to shoot over to our Twitter, where we have Will. He's a new follower. His Twitter username is boylay97. Then we have a group of fellas called Gang... Oh, it's just one person, sorry. Gang Killing Machine, or GKM, who has a YouTube, pretty much does gameplay videos. His Twitter name is XXMonsterReadXX. And also we're being followed by Unleash the Fanboy at Fanboy Unleashed, pretty much Twitter and website about fandom and geekiness, so we like them. Alright, so, follow us on everything, and then we'll give you a shout-out if you're new. And also, you might actually win some stuff, like Penn Shingleton, who won our Comic-Con swag last time, so it helps to follow us. Also, he is a cowboy.
How did the Tide Anubis name is what I want to know. Anubis
it was like, yeah, I made it years ago, and I was trying to think of something that sounded cool, and I thought, well, Anubis sounds cool, and of course I spelled it wrong. So it looks like I just put a bus on the end of it's my first, part of my first name and part of my middle name with a bus on the end of it, so yeah, it looks pretty stupid, but there you go.
The time bus.
So it has nothing to do with like Egyptian culture whatsoever?
No, all aboard the Tyler bus.
Woo woo!
Alright, and then also we have Melissa, also known as Valen.
No, turn off.
Excelsior! Yeah, I'm not as creative, most of you. My nicknames online everywhere is just a combination of my first name and my middle name, So yeah, I'm not that creative at all, especially with names. Playing The Sims was horrible for me. I had so many families named like the Staplertons or Mr. Printer or, the name of my monitor, so yeah, I'm not that creative.
Basically, it was anything that was within a viewing distance. It was like Mr. Red Staplerton.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. So.
I would be in the same boat, but there's a lot of Peters out there, so I can't really use my own name for everything.
That is also the name of your Johnson too. So.
Yeah, no kidding. Little Peter, we call him.
Isn't that like naming yourself like human?
Yeah, exactly.
Your first name is what you want.
Man.
Alright, and then lastly, back from the dead, we have Tony, also known as Kirk80s. Give him a little taste, Tony.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not so fun when you die, so... Okay, that's
nice. Alright, sounds good. Okay, so we start each of our podcasts up with a little segment we call Follow Me. This is a segment where we give shout-outs to new followers from our Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, and basically the whole of internets. So this is a segment we like to call Follow Me.
Follow me.
And that contest is still out there if you can name all those follows from pop culture that I stole from. Anyways, also, please don't sue me. I'm not making any money off of this podcast.
You didn't get your check? I got it.
Damn it. You got a check? No way. Alright. Okay, so...
On O'Brien's show, like back in the late 90s when X-Files was really big. And he was talking about pseudonames that he likes to check himself into hotels, and one of them was Jeremy Rumper Bumper, and the other one was Onesto Stubbs. And he said it was always nice to get a little wake-up call back when you used to get the telephone wake-up call from the hotel. Mr. Rumper Bumper, this is your 8 a.m. wake-up call. So he actually showed up in a skit prior to actually coming out for the guest and said his name was Onesto Stubbs.
Cool.
The great
that was
David
on
Duchovny.
a episode of Conan?
Absolutely, yep. Old NBC late night, right? Or...
Yeah. Cool. What about Galaxoid? Or what can you tell us about Galaxoid? Well, Nebula and Galaxoid.
Well, you know what that is. That's from that one comic strip for Calvin and Hobbes.
Yeah.
Galaxoid and Navigator Nebular.
Sweet.
Here's a question. I think I asked you this pop quiz before, but pop quiz again. Which one is Galaxoid?
Galaxoid is the one with the star on his chest.
Correct. Yay! Very good. Okay, so after Mr. Onesto Stubbs, we have Tyler, also known as Ty, also known as Ty Denubus.
Howdy.
Yes.
Howdy.